starting and I'll start from the school.
Did you change it?
I just updated that page I mentioned and the other
It's
page.
already I did.
Yeah, did you change anything else?
Already I did.
Did you change anything else in this one?
Is it from my previous?
No.
It was over there. I also removed some contacts.
Also did some changes. I'm checking. Hold the phone.
What's that? Fine.
No, this is 2M.
Hello. Can you guys hear? Okay. We are CS411 project TAs. My name is Khurram Shahzad, and his name is.
Joey. Hi.
You can call Joy. Okay. So today we'll be going through briefly track 1 and track 2 project overviews. In the next tutorial we'll be going over through web programming, and a couple of weeks later we'll be going through hosting services like cPanel, if you're using cPanel. So database project, it's required for all CS411 students. Either you are taking 3 credit hours or 4 credit hours. But if you are registered for 4 credit hours, then you have to go for surveys. That's like a 4th credit hour thing. And in this case, you have to write a report likely 8 to 10 pages long. Based on the given topics. Okay, so I think from here Joy will be taking you forward.
So as I said, every student in this course will be doing project 1, not 3 credit students doing project 1 and 4 credit students doing project 2. All students need to do project 1, and only the 4 credit student need to do project 2, which is a survey paper. And so the goals for this project 1 is apply some of the theoretical knowledges, concepts from the lecture, and apply it to your application, whatever that is. It can be a web application. It can also be a mobile application. Note that the mobile application cannot be an advanced function for your web application if you choose to do a web application. But you can do a mobile application as your major component and do other advanced components. That's fine. Then the second, we want you to learn how to collaborate in teams, to work together with your teammates on a project. How many of you have done a project, like a web project or database project? Not many of you. Okay, this is probably going to be your first project. So we want everyone to write code. Right? Everyone needs to start learning how to code in whatever PHP, HTML, JavaScript, or Python, other any tools. So when I was in the class, and I was taking the class, I basically did the project on my own. Then the day before the deadline, I had to teach all my team members like what I did, tell them what tools I used. Don't do that, please. Just please make a plan first, and everyone just get onto it. Just don't let one person do it. Then third point, we want you to create something new that's never existed before. Hopefully, okay? If you can't do it, that's fine. But really want you to create something that's, for example, we don't want you to create another, we prefer you not to create another Airbnb and Uber, because you're probably not going to be better than them. But also, of course, if you have like better ideas, better functionalities, yeah, you can try. Please, if you decide to do something that's already existed before, you need to have some functionality that stands out. Like, yeah. And the fourth goal for the project one is to build your own portfolio. And so that's something you can write on your resume, since majority of you haven't done a project like this before. So it's a good opportunity where you can utilize your class, your time in school instead of just time in breaks to do this kind of projects. Right. So there are 5 stages, actually 6 stages in this project. The first stage is just group formation, which is the deadline is next Monday. So please find your team members before that. If you can't find one, just send us an email or post a Piazza, I guess. There's a teammate search thread on Piazza. If you already found one, please close your thread so other people can still find the correct teams. Then the stage 1, functional design and ER design. So you learn ER diagram in lectures, right? So we want you to write out it's basically all right. I'll say the details in the following slides. But basically, it's like a project pitch, like what you're gonna do and how coarsely you want to design your database. And stage 3, development plan. So that's the plan for actual implementation of your website. So what tools you'll be using, what languages you'll be using, and what frameworks you'll be using. Yep. The third stage, stage 3, set up development environment. So that's March 1st. So you need to have a working URL. That being said, you cannot just have a website on your local host, on your laptop. You need to have something that's commonly accessible from anywhere in the world. So please use school-provided servers, or you can use other servers, of course, but we won't be providing your help with those, setting up those environments. Stage 4, initial demo. That's just right before spring break. So everyone needs to sign up for a time slot when you will be presenting to the TAs. You don't need to have a fully working thing, but you need to at least, like, you can show us what you want to do, what's the direction of your project. Like, some of the basic functionalities need to be there, but it doesn't have to be complete. Then stage 5 is the final demo, which is...
I think at stage 4 there's one more point. So at this stage you guys are supposed to come up with 2 SQL queries, and that should be like advanced SQL queries. This time we are changing the format a little bit. So the advanced functions you guys will be doing for the stage 5 demo thing. So at this stage 4, you guys are required to come up with 2 advanced SQL queries. We'll be showing you further for this thing.
Oh. Yeah, then the final demo is kind of similar to the initial demo, but you need to have a complete project finished. You need to have real data in your database at this time, and you will show it to us. You will also be writing reports and making a video out of it. of it. Yep, so stage 0, group formation. So each group needs to have at least 3 people and at most 4 people. We cannot have 1, 2, or 5, 6 people. And there's no restrictions on team up with what kind of people you want, like online students or grad students with undergrad, that's fine. So it doesn't matter. Our suggestion is to have someone experienced in a team, but since the majority of you haven't done a project like this before, it's probably fine. And everyone can start learning at the same time. Yeah, I guess it's all fine. Just if you're willing to work, those aren't problems. Yeah, and better to pick a captain in your team who's responsible for updating all the pages or make sure they're in the correct format, or like supervising all people that they're on the right track or they're working. Alright, stage 1, functional design and ER diagram. So this is, now you will be creating a child page on your project page. So you will be describing what your application, what's the functionality of your application, what problems you want to solve. So we want it to be useful. We want you to state, is it really useful that somebody going to use it? What kind of problem does it solve? For example, you cannot write a website recording how many bottles of water you've drank today. That's not too helpful for most of us, right? So it needs to be solving a actual problem, like to make our life more convenient or create something that have never existed before. And then the realness requirement is basically saying the data in your website, the data in your database needs to come from either real users. So the users create a post, for example, and that generates the data in your database. And that's called user-generated data. It needs to be either that or the data needs to be from crawling, website crawling. So you'll be writing a crawler which you will run and crawl data from internet. For example, you can crawl data from, many people have done this before. People crawl data from Read My Professor and make a class review website. Or you can crawl data from Yelp or some Reddit. But many people have done this before, so I suggest you to think about something other than this. Don't do Read My Professor.
Yeah, there is one more requirement here. So after you come up with your team members, so like after stage 0, everyone is required to visit us during our office hours, just to discuss your project ideas, what you are going to do, if it's useful or not. So every team member, one of the member from all the teams at least, is required to show up during our office hours for their project description or pitch session, you can say. So we are not holding that pitch session in the class this time. We'll be holding that session during our office hours. Okay.
Yeah, the next one, features. So you need to have some basic functionalities. For example, you show it to us?
So, for example, if you are going to just build a website, you don't have to be working on any mobile apps thing. Or, for example, if your project requires to come up with any database that usually is implemented within a mobile app, then it should be functional at the final stage. But other than that, you don't need to make another web page for that. You can come up with both options, or you can come up with just one option, and that option should be functional with your database at least.
Yeah, so also if you decide to do a mobile app, you don't have to create a website. Right? Same goes for tablet application. And then some people say, anymore, probably have restrictions by now. So again, you need to do some serious post-processing after you get the data. But although that's not enough, if you write a crawler that is so robust and so advanced that it can automatically crawls data from multiple websites without giving the website URL, that's something advanced, right? So you just need to click a start button, run the script, and it gives you all the data. You don't even need to specify all the URLs.
So yeah, here's one more point. So just don't rely on one website for crawling. Use multiple websites. So and you should have at least 100 records if you are crawling data from other websites.
So this is fun. I guess this is another example of a good thing to do. I think this is a tool for writing, to help people writing SQL queries. So it actually provides hints to programmers that, for example, the database name. primarily support PHP and MySQL. And you can also use Python or Ruby, but that takes actual effort. And we have limitations on school-provided servers. So if you want to do language other than PHP, usually I suggest you to find some external providers. That may request the payment or something like that.
So how many of you are familiar with the cPanel? Okay, very few, I guess. And how many of you have already been working on different database projects or web hosting services? So a little more, I guess. Yeah, I think we will be going over through the cPanel, the hosting environment that is provided by the university. So you guys will know. If you get a chance, you can also, if you have completed your team members, so you can also get a chance to create your space on cPanel. Just play with that. If you have any questions, just feel free to send us an email. So we will also be going through one more class that there I will be basically talking about the cPanel, how to link it with database, front end, back end, and pretty much everything.
How do we get access to cPanel through the university? From what I see online, you need to pay for it.
No, you don't have to pay online. So there is a link. If you go through the project pages, under that there should be tools and resources. And if you click that link, under that link you will find the instructions like how to create your space in the cPanel.
Is there anyone here who's not from the College of Engineering? If you're not in College of Engineering, you may have trouble accessing your cPanel. So you need to send just Google cPanel UIUC and send an email to corresponding parties, and they'll figure it out. Other than that, you should be able to access cPanel.
I think everybody might already be added up to that services from this class. So if you still have any trouble, just let us know. But I think you should be good to start with the cPanel thing.
Yeah, if you're building a mobile app, you need to have like a first initial release, and you can at least open your app on your whatever platform you're using. We'll be covering the cPanel setup and database setup and connection. Stage 4 is the main term development, so that's right before spring break. So you need to have some amount of data in your database at this time. Logging in your website, the logging functionalities don't come themselves as the basic functionality or the
So yeah, it is our past experience. So sometimes people, they just come up with for this day especially, they just come up with login information. So this is not stage 4 requirement. For the stage 4 requirement, you should be having some actual commands for insert, for crude thing. So that that should not be actually your login information. It should be something else that we can basically grade on.
You can have the login functionality, but it doesn't count as basic functionality. Yes.
So for the SQL part of the sort of database, we're not allowed to use sort of any tools and sort of open source things like MongoDB.
No.
So MongoDB is actually not a relational database, so you cannot use that. And also, there are some frameworks like in Django or Python or Ruby, even in some PHP frameworks, where you won't be able to write SQL queries, like raw SQL queries. They have some like REST function where you can call. Please don't use those. They don't actually provide help, provide you with any.
Like if you crawl data from websites, then you should have like 100 records in your database. But if you're using any other ways like user-generated data, so make sure that you should have at least 25 records, or you should have at least enough login information from other users that we can evaluate that web app or mobile app. So you should have at least enough data in your database. That should be sufficient for us to grade.
And then you'll also be recording a project demo video for a project. So that's basically a YouTube video with like going through your project and with narratives on how functionalities work. And also you'll be showing the SQL queries you did on your project.
Yeah, for the demo video, it should not be that advanced video. It can be just very normal, very regular video recording. Basically, that should describe your project briefly and walk us through your advanced functions, what you did here for your project completion for this class. So it should not be that much professional. We are not demanding anything like that. We will also be showing you some previous year's websites here, so you can just take an idea from those videos.
Then here comes the final report that you need to write. I don't think there is a word limitation on it.
No, but just like for the final report, you should be following all the instructions that are mentioned on our web pages. Make sure you should have everything like description of your project, ER diagram, brief description from your advanced functions, any milestones or any hurdles that you face during your project completion, Um, yeah, and that's pretty much. So we just want to go through your final report, so we should be knowing everything. If somebody else want to redo those things, so they should be able to redo after reading your final report and your watching at your final video. So this should be likely helpful for other users to create something on.
I was wondering in terms of personal sort of property, because if a team comes up with an idea which is pretty conventional, how would that work? Is it
No, that should be your own creation. For example, if you come up with something like really, really useful for the society, or you can even take that project as an advance, like just like maybe Facebook or any other similar web applications, or maybe any other selling applications or whatever you have in your mind. That should be your own property, and we are not supposed to release anywhere that thing without your permissions. But you can briefly talk about that, like what you have done here, so that it should be at least recognized by your name. Like you have that thing on your project. This was the date of creation. This was your idea and everything. So it's just likely proof of your thoughts on our web pages.
So, is there in detail description of what will have to be decided by the board?
It should be actually enough, like that should provide all the basic informations.
So, do you want a specific structure or?
Kind of, yes. You can also take a look at the previous year's reports. So you will find some better descriptions or better ideas from those reports that are already written by previous users. And pretty much we have already graded those things. So if you have any further questions, like for the report writing, just feel free to visit us. So we'll be glad to help you guys. Okay.
Then for the grading part, as shown, first stage 4%, second stage 3%, third stage 3%, and fourth stage.
You have this one more thing here for the stage 4 thing. Those are likely to advanced SQL queries that should be basically from your advanced functions. You need to come up with something like some sort of queries so that we can evaluate those things. So their weightage is, for the timing, their weightage is like 5% at this time. So yeah, I think this was pretty much the grading thing.
Yeah, and for the final part, there will be a 5% bonus points. So at the end of the semester, we'll be selecting top 4 teams, which have the best projects, and they will be awarded with 5% bonus points. And you have at least like you have like more innovative algorithms, or like
We are Smart Clothing. Smart Clothing is a new way to explore your style. The user picks images of clothes that they like, and then the website automatically suggests other items the user might also like. We are Smart Clothing. Smart Clothing is a new way to explore your style. The user picks images of clothes that they like, and then the website automatically suggests other items. We are Smart Clothing. Smart Clothing is a new way to explore your style. The user picks images of clothes that they like, and then the website automatically suggests other items the user might also like. Since this is a personalized service, first I have to create an account. Okay, now I'm logged in and ready to begin. It's starting to get cold in Champagne, so I'm going to look for some men's outerwear. The system will show me 6 items, and of these I will pick one that I think I like best. Then the system will show me several other items which are related. I can repeat this process, and the items recommended should improve over time. I can select an item to view more details anytime along the way. Let's say I like this one. I can click on it. And out of what I've seen so far, I think I like it best. So I can go ahead and click to go through the original Zappos link. And once this page loads, I can add to cart and purchase it. Next, since it's the holiday season, I will shop for some t-shirts for my sister. I select the category, and again the system populates the page with some items. And I start to select the design that I like the best. Notice how most of the recommendations now have a V-cut neck, just as the picture that I picked. I can continue browsing. And after some time, I can pick one that I like. And finally, follow the Zappos link to the product page. The system also lets me view my history in a user-friendly way. I click this, and it will show me which products I was just looking at, and my progression between them. It also shows me which products are related. I can also browse what clothes I viewed in previous sessions by clicking on the Next button. And I can go back as well if I wanted to by clicking the previous button. So this is useful because I can see the progression of images that I clicked on and also related images which showed up, which I did not click on, but maybe I was interested in. Thank you for watching our demonstration of smart clothing. I hope you like it and choose to use our product next time you shop online.
So this might give you some brief idea about creating a video or working through some of the projects. So we have some more videos here.
Hello, this is CS411 Final Project Demo, and this is Project James Parkinson's made by Team Whitecode. And this is a service that people can test if they got Parkinson's disease on it. So first of all, sign up. You can either sign up as a physician or a participant patient. We sign up as a physician first. So after signing up, you can put in all your information, including your name and other information. Then you can also sign up as a patient if you want to do pre-screening of Parkinson's disease. And after signing up, you can also change your information profile. And this is login function. Pretty simple, straightforward. You can log in and view all your information. If you're a potential patient on the right, you'll see all the volunteer physicians available for you. And like here, I'm Penny. I want to select Dr. Hofstadter and Dr. Cooper to review my test results. If you're a patient, the only reason you're here is to test for Parkinson's disease. So first of all, we're going to ask you several questions like doctors in clinic. And we're going to ask you to film the video of your trembling hand and upload it. Here's a simple tutorial for it. And that's all you need to do, and that exactly the source from which we analyze the frequency of your trembling hand. So here I'm going to select the video of my trembling hand and upload it. And click process video. The process is going to take about 1 minute. It really depends on the video size you upload. And now what is happening in the background is, first we try to convert the video to make it easy to process for us. Second, we try to validate the video to see if there's really a skin error represented in the video. And finally, we use some algorithm to analyze the frequency of your trembling hand in the video. And that's the end of it. Simple, elegant. Next, you probably want to review your test results. So on the left, you can see your tremor frequency and some diagnosis corresponding to the test, and the test video you uploaded, and the waveform of your tremor. Well, now, so I'm Penny. I tested positive for Parkinson's disease. I wanted either Dr. Hofstadter or Dr. Cooper to help me out of here, so I left a message. And Dr. Hofstadter viewed my profile and replied, that's kind of how it works. So now I want to talk more about the video validation things. But assume you just upload a completely relevant video like this video of the computer screen. And what's going to happen is we're going to tell you it's invalid because there is no skin error in that. And I want to talk more about authorization. Remember that I'm Penny, I didn't select Howard Wolowitz to review my profile. So if you log in as Howard Wolowitz, you can see that you can't view Penny's profile. Now here's an interesting history fact. Our project is named after Dr. James Parkinson, who is the discoverer of Parkinson's disease. He kind of had a superpower that he can see people's hands trembling. So that's why he can discover disease. Very interesting, huh?
I think this was probably one of the projects that I supervised in the last years. This was one of the good projects from the class. So they had also some technical challenges during this project, but they dealt with those challenges pretty well.
Hello everyone, this is Iran, and this is the final project video about our system, which is called Smart Feed. And our team members are Iran, Hussein, Zhongzhi, and Xiao Xiao. And our system is called Smart Feed. It is a highly customized newsfeed system designed to provide the most relevant tweets to end users according to their preference. Once the users registered and start using, Smart Feed will intelligently interact with the user. So let me try to sign up here. So okay, it's signed up now. So once the users sign up, they can first, for example, enter the category. Like I want to do get some tweets about news. So I started searching with the news. So our system tries to provide the categorized tweets that is assigned down to the category news to the user. So these days, California shooting military combat, gun control is quite popular. So our tweets is our stream crawling API is constantly crawling tweets from the internet and display the most relevant news to the user. And also we can search another category, which is sports. Let's see here. Yeah, the Davis Cup final, the tennis championship, is quite popular around these days. And apart from this direct search of categories, we can do some keyword searching as well. For example, let me search under keywords. Let's say iPhone. I want to. Okay. Technology. And keywords is iPhone. And here something about iPhone would come up. And also, for example, let's say search Apple. Function that we have a different number of followers. So if we only want to view some tweets that comes from popular authors, then we can enter the minimum amount of followers that the users should have. For example, here we want to filter out this 40,000 follower author. We enter this 50,000, and then there are only 3 tweets now. So the next big thing about our system is that our user, can it's actually news. So the user can provide feedback to our system. For example, you can see the buttons on the right side of the tweets, and if I'm interested in viewing more news about shooting, then I click like here. There's shooting, gun control. Let's first do refresh the tweet list by clicking the relevant button, and then you fetch the result from the database that has what I likes. So now the new list contains mostly about the California shooting from different sources. Yes, and basically our system can repeatedly react to users' feedback and provide highly customized tweets to users. And our database is using MySQL, but it's horizontally sharded on a distributed system that is composed of 35 embedded devices. So you probably noticed that when we are refreshing the pages, the fetch speed is kind of slow, but that's because of accessing the database is from not locally from the where the server runs. It's remotely running. The database is remotely running in my laboratory. So although the access to the database is in parallel, so the result it would take some time to be fetched to the backend server. So this is pretty much about our system Smart Feed. I hope you enjoyed it and use it.
Introducing GeoLive, an application that provides temporary chat room for people who are doing the same thing at the same time. For example, watching football games.
That was a risk. Oh dear me, what a chance for Higuain! What a waste! He was presented with a World Cup final gift.
New Year's countdown. Or taking classes. To create a chat room, press the little red button. Input room name and ID. And your chat room is all set. GeoLive will record the current location as the room location so that people around you can see it. Note that if your chat room is one of the most popular rooms, then anyone can see your room on their main page. Otherwise, if nobody is talking anymore, then the room will be deleted. So stay popular. To join a chat room, simply press the cards on the main page, or go to the search bar and search for desired rooms. GeoLive will try to guess what you want to search based on the popularity of keywords. You can switch view modes between normal and dynamic. Dynamic mode is where you have comments flying across the screen like bullet curtain, which is designated for millions of people talking at the same time. It's quite funny, right? GeoLive. Say hi to your friends.
So I think that's it for Project 1. Any questions for Project 1?
May I please request our chairperson and my father, Shri Mukesh Ambani, to join us on stage to share his thoughts.
So no questions. We'll just go to the full credit ones.
Alright, so how many of you are taking 4 credits right now? Okay, cool. So it will be interesting for you guys now. So you can, for the 4 credit students, you are supposed to come up with a member of at least 2 or maybe 1 if there is no one else. So you can be sole 1 member, or you can be 2 members at most, I guess. So so what are the goals for the project 2? So here we are expecting something novel or some ideas, like some literature, based on some literature search, or anything that is more interesting based on some of our given topics. So in this case, expert knowledge of the state of the art, we are expecting something likely very unique from you guys. And also, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, don't use anything that is already been used before. Just try to make something different that is not existing, or just come up with some ideas that are not already been implemented. So really understand the connections between the methods. So for example, if you're going to invent something new, so just make sure that there should be some connections with the old things, or if you just want to relate those things or compare with those things, if there is any connection between those. Build a special angle on a topic, identify perspective, research problems. That is the key thing to write any survey or any key paper. Improve your skills on critical thinking skills and analytical work with a lot of scientific literature. For example, you need to know the depth or breadth of the field first before you come up with any writing. So you should know what has already been done or what has already been conducted in that field, and then come up with something new that should be useful for that field. So build a special angle on a topic and identify the perspective, research problems, and then improve your skills on critical thinking skills and analytical work with a lot of scientific literature. Help yourself with project 1. This is kind of, for example, in the past years, students were also taking the track 1 projects to the track 2 projects, but this time I think we will be just focused on the survey reviews with the topics that we have basically already listed on project track 2 web pages. So at least read 5 to 10 surveys from ACM computing surveys to get the idea of material organization. what are the typical sections, how long it should be, how to present the ideas, like in different forms, for example, abstract, introduction, methods, or any techniques they have used before, and something like that. Select few interesting topics. We have already given those topics to you guys, so you don't need to be worried about those topics things anymore. Just focus, select any of those topics and focus on those topics. Okay. Have materials and plan for that. Find top researchers and research groups, conferences, journals, demo systems on the selected topics. Skim those topics, just get an idea what's already been there, published, or what you can do anything different from those topics that are already been published. Write a plan with answers to questions. For example, if they have already mentioned some of the questions that they did not answer in their paper, you can take those questions forward and come up with their answers in those surveys. So why your survey will be important? What's the perspective you want to open? So that's really important thing for you guys if you are taking the 4th credit. So in the past, some of the students, they also took those surveys forward and they also published those surveys, for example, in some of CS reputed journals. So if you want to take those things forward, you can also feel free, talk to us, talk to the instructor or to us if you really want to publish those ideas after this class. Work hard, select the deadlines for yourself and follow them. Add key citations at the end of the proposal. So if you are done with your final report of the survey, you are supposed to provide all the references. There should be something like, we should know like how did you get some of the ideas to write up your paper, and provide a complete list of references at the end. So these are the topics listed. You guys need to be working on these topics. Select any one topic. If some group has already taken one topic, try to take another different perspective, and then discuss about that. So make a comprehensive list of papers. For example, if you get material for writing a survey, so make sure that you collect those papers, make a list that should be useful for your writing the final report. So you can like come up with the title, title of the paper, subtopic, what was the subtopic mentioned in that paper, the key ideas, try to brainstorm also with your new ideas and try to match if you can come up with something new from the key ideas that has already been published in some of the papers. So whether this paper is from a journal, from a conference, or from anything else, try to note that down. Try to also keep record of the year when it was published. For example, is it a recent publication from 2016-15, or it's likely really old, like in 1970s or something. So just make sure that you also note down their years, just for your record. So this is one of the example. You can make a list of the research articles that you skim. Just try to note down their title, topic, key ideas, where they have been published before, their quality or something, year, and pretty much similar ideas. What do you think should be useful for writing the final survey? This is also some of the suggestions. While reading papers, create a citation graph, traversal policy, breadth for search, depth for search. Read a text update record in your table. The table last I showed, you can create a similar table if you like. Write about it in the text right after you read it. Also create a Word document and keep keep noting down those key ideas that you think are really important for your further discussion. Also, make sure you should have all those references at the end. And then after, you can take chunks of ideas from different papers, and then you can connect those ideas to get a big picture, like what's going on, what has been done in the past, and what you can do in the future if you really want to pursue that field, for example, after in your grad studies or for your research topics. Typical timeline for writing this survey. These are also like kind of suggestions. 1 to 2 weeks for paper selection. For example, select some different papers from different sources, do some initial reading, and get some ideas. Try to organize those papers. Maybe you can organize them based on their topics, based on their years, or based on whatever information you feel like it's more interesting for you to write up with the final report. 2 to 4 weeks writing an initial draft, 2 to 4 weeks, next 2 to 4 weeks for final editing before the final submission. We don't have enough stages for this project 4, but make sure you come up with your own deadlines. And think big. You really can submit it to the journal, or even you can also present some of your ideas in any conference. Okay, so these are some of the links, like for Project Tech 1, Project Tech 2, and some of the tool resources here. So this is the link for the Project Track 1, this is the link for the Project Track 2, and these are the tool and resources that are basically provided to you guys. For example, cPanel, how to get the account from using the cPanel thing, and then like PHP, what other informations are basically accompanied with that, PHP, HTML, and different other things. All right, so that's pretty much. So if you have any further questions, just feel free to visit during our office hours. And also, you guys are also supposed to discuss your Project Tech 1 ideas to us. Feel free to visit in our office hours. If you are done with your team selection, do it earlier so that we should know what you are doing. If you need to change something, so we can suggest something to you guys, or you have something that we should know, likely this should be accepted from you guys or not. So just feel free to visit our office hours, send us an email anytime. So we'll try best to answer your questions. Anyways, thank you.
Yeah, so next lecture I'll be covering the web programming part. So if you haven't done any web programming, I strongly suggest you to come to get started. Okay? Yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming today.